Alameen, inshallah ta'ala. It's been 2 weeks since we have not have lessons. So inshallah for today we will straight away enter into Muqaddimah Hadramiyyah because of the scarcity of time. So we will enter into our kitab where we are basically in the chapter of the Arkanus Salah, pertaining to the integrals of prayers. So this is basically where we have reached in our last lesson, where the author mentioned as-salisu. Now before that he mentioned wa yushtaratu isma'u nafsihi at-takbir. And this is pertaining to the takbir, and we mentioned in our last lesson that the takbir is wajib, performing any of the takbir. So when we perform our prayers, we have to begin our prayers with the takbir. Otherwise our prayers will not be will not be valid. So we make our intention while we are doing any takbir, and the minimum requirement of takbir is what the author mentioned here, wa yushtaratu isma'u nafsihi. So the takbir how loud should the takbir be? So the author mentioned minimum is isma'u nafsihi, that you are able to make yourself heard. So when you recite Allahu Akbar, you recite it slowly if you are praying alone in the Siriyah prayers, but this recitation of yours must be heard by you, by you. So meaning here, if a person recite the takbir in his heart, then the takbir will not be valid. وَكَذَا الْقِرَاءَةَ وَسَائِرَ الْأَرْكَانِ. Likewise, the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is coming inshallah. This is also compulsory for us to recite it aloud. Aloud here meaning that you can hear your recitation. وَسَائِرَ الْأَرْكَانِ. And likewise, the rest of the integrals in prayers. So integrals in prayers, we have the fi'liyah and qawliyah. So there are certain integrals that are based on actions, fi'liyah, like ruku and sujud and i'tidal. And we have integrals in a form of qawliyah. So there are 5 in prayers. Number 1, we have the takbiratul ihram, and then we have Surah Al-Fatiha, station of Surah Al-Fatiha, and then we have the tashahud, the last tashahud. Number 4, salawat upon the Prophet ﷺ in the last tashahud, and the last is the first salam. So these are called arkanul qawliyah. So qawliyah meaning, the definition is this, isma'u nafsihi, that he is able to make himself heard the recitation. So this is integral number 2. Number 1, we spoke about intention, that a person has to intend. So we mentioned about the difference between sunnah prayers and wajib prayers. We spoke about the pillars of the intention, qasdul fi'li, fardiyya, and ta'yin. So maybe you can revise in the previous recording that you can find. Now we will enter into the third integral. The author mentioned as-salisu al-qiyamu fil fardi lil-qadiri. As-salisu al-qiyamu fil fardi lil-qadiri. The third integral is what you call it, standing when comes to the fard prayers. When comes to the fard prayers. So we make a differentiation between the fard prayers and the sunnah prayers. What is any wajib is the fard prayers. What is wajib is what you call it is the fard prayer. Pertaining to the sunnah prayers, it is a sunnah that a person stand. Meaning, if you are praying the sunnah prayers, it is permissible for you to perform the sunnah prayers while sitting down. But of course, there is a difference in reward. What is the difference in reward? The Prophet ﷺ mentioned the ajrul qa'id, the reward for the person who prays while sitting down is half than the reward of a person who is standing up. So this is the difference between a person who is praying fard it is wajib, otherwise the prayer will not be valid. So this is what the author mentioned. Afwan, just give me a minute. I just have some things I need to. Okay. So when it comes to the wajib any prayers, it's wajib for him to stand. Otherwise the prayer will not be valid. وَيُشْتَرَطُ نَصْبُ فَقَارِ ظَهْرِهِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَقْدِرْ وَقَفَ مُنْحَنِيًا. So the author speaks about what is the meaning of standing. So we mentioned that a person has to perform the prayers while he is standing. So standing meaning we have to straighten up our back. We have to straighten up our backbones. It is a condition to straighten our backbones. فَإِنْ لَمْ يَقْدِرْ وَقَفَ مُنْحَنِيًا. If he does not have the ability to do so, then he can stand slightly bent. And if a person, for example, has some sickness or some pain in the back, it is permissible for him to pray while bending, but of course not to the extent of he comes into the level of ruku'. So this is in a case where a person is unable to perform the prayers standing straight. So slight bent is permissible if there is a reason, or a person has difficulty to stand straight. فَإِن لَمْ يَقْدِرْ قَعَدَ وَرَكَعَ مُحَاذِيًا جَبَهَتَهُ قُدَّامَ رُكْبَتَيْهِ. If a person does not have the ability to stand, what happens? So the author mentions standing is wajib. Standing is part of the integral of the rukun. But what if a person is unable to stand? And if, for example, a person is praying on a wheelchair, he's unable to stand, so he's praying on a wheelchair. So how does he perform the prayer? So he said, فَإِنْ لَمْ يَقْدِرْ. If he does not have the ability to do so, then to pray while standing up. قَعَدَ, he prays while sitting down. وَرَكَعَ مُحَاذِيًا جَبْهَتَهُ قُدَّامَ رُكْبَتَيْهِ. Okay, now imagine that you are sitting down, for example. Imagine that you are sitting down. So when you are doing the ruku, your jabha, this is jabha, your forehead must be over the boundary of your knees. So imagine that you are sitting down. Imagine that you are sitting down. So your forehead goes over the level of your knees. Your forehead goes over the level of your knees. This is what the author is saying. Muhadiyan jabahatahu quddama rukbatayh. So this is how we pray while sitting down. Even for our sunnah prayers, for example, if a person is sitting down, whether he's sitting down in iftirash or tawarruk, so we look at where our knees are. We look at where our knees are. So our forehead should be above, it should be beyond the level of our knees. So this is basically how a person prays while sitting down when he wants to do the ruku'. But when he wants to do the sujood, then he goes further than that. Then he goes further than that. Wal afdalu an yuhadiya mawdi'a sujudihi. But the best he goes further for his ruku'. If he is able to go further beyond than the level of the knees, he can go further beyond to the level of where he does the sujood. Where he does the sujood. So when it comes to sujood, then he goes further than that. So the author mentioned in terms of which is afdal, which is better. If a person has the ability to do so, then it's better for him to bend more. وَالْأَفْضَلُ أَنْ يُحَاذِيَ مَوْضِعَ سُجُودِهِ وَهُمَا عَلَى وِزَانِ رُكُوعِ الْقَائِمِ فِي الْمُحَاذَى. And when a person goes beyond, this is what is recommended. So these two ways of doing our ruku and our sujood, where our ruku goes to the point of the place or to the area of the place where we are making sujood. So this is has some similarities pertaining to the person who does the ruku when he is any standing up. So when you are standing up and you are doing ruku', your your forehead and it is at the level of the sujood, at the place anywhere you do the sujood. So why it is better when you are sitting down and to do the same? Because if you are praying and while standing, your level the level of your forehead and it is at the place of the sujood. And likewise, when we are praying and while sitting down, and we try the best and to do the same when we are praying while standing. So that is why the author mentioned it is better for us to go further than that. But the minimum requirement is that when we are doing any ruku', when we are sitting, is that we go further than the boundary of our knees. That's what he mentioned earlier. Here we are just speaking about which is afdal, which is any better. فَإِن لَمْ يَقْدِرْ. So what happens if a person does not have the ability to sit down while praying? So if does not have the ability, he say ittaja ala janbihi. So he prays while lying down. How does he lie down? Ala janbihi, lie down on the side. Lie down on the side. While aymanu afdal, the right side is better, unless if a person has some pain or something, then he can lie down on the left side. But of course the right is preferred over the left. So he's praying and the face facing the qibla. What you are lying down on your right basically. So your body is facing the qibla. So this is how a person performs prayer if he's unable to sit down. So for example, those who are na'uzubillah min zalik in the state bedridden, for example, they are unable to get up by themselves. So they pray while lying down. Excuse me. Today not really feeling well. So inshallah today I just make any lesson any short. Since 2 weeks we don't have any lesson, I felt we can have some benefit inshallah ta'ala. I'll just finish some of this. The author mentioned if he does not have the ability to sit, then he lie on the side. The right side is better. فَإِن لَمْ يَقْدِرْ. If he does not have the ability to do so, to lie on the side, istalqa. Istalqa basically to lie down on your back. To lie down on your back. Wa yarfa'u ra'sahu bi shay'in. So he places something below his head, so that the face faces the qibla. So the feet is facing the qibla. The body is facing the qibla. We put a pillow, for example, below, so that our face is facing the qibla. Wa yumi'u bi ra'sihi li ruku'in wa sujud. How does he do ruku' and sujud? He do ima. Ima meaning you do like this. So when it comes to the ruku', you bend a bit. When it comes to sujud, you bend more. So this is called ima. This is called ima. Ima bi ra'sihi. To do this ima. To bend slightly. Wa yumi'u bi ra'sihi li ruku'in wa sujud wa ima'uhu li sujud aksaru qadra imkanihi. So when it comes to the sujud, the bending is more than the ruku', and all this the author mentioned qadra imkanihi, based on his ability. Based on his ability to do so. Fa in lam yaqdir, he said if he doesn't have the ability to do so, then aw ma'a bi tarfihi, then he does this signal by blinking of the eyes. So when he wants to do the ruku' he blink one time, and he wants to do the sujud he blinks one time. If he does not have the ability, then the author mentioned ajral arkana ala qalbihi. So he prays by his heart. So meaning his heart, and he tells him that now I'm doing a ruku', now I'm doing any sujud. This is in the situation where a person is unable to do the ima, or to raise his head, for example, to nod to the front to do the ruku and the sujud. So what he does blinking. So blinking is the second last resort. The last resort is by the heart. So if he cannot move the head, then he blinks. If he cannot blink then intention by the heart. Wallahu a'lam bis-sawab. Inshallah ta'ala, we stop here for today. Inshallah, we will continue next week. So next week, inshallah, our lessons will be as per normal. Inshallah ta'ala, we have some issues in our internet connection at the mosque. So hopefully, the upcoming weeks, inshallah, everything will be good. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.